All right, The Year of the Dog, Chapter 7. It's called Almost Twins. When I came home from school, I couldn't wait to tell Mom about Melody, but of course she already knew all about it. Mom told me how she had gone grocery shopping and was surprised to see another Asian woman doing the same thing. The woman was so happy to see another Asian person that she went up to Mom and introduced herself. Melody's parents were from Taiwan too, so we were both Taiwanese American. Mom said she would take me over to see Melody's new house. It was fun going to Melody's house. She had the best room. One whole wall of her room was a picture of jungle animals. There was a lion staring in the grass and monkeys climbing in the trees. There was even a pink flamingo. "How'd you get your wall like that?" I asked, impressed. "It came that way," Melody said. "If you look close, you can see that it's a kind of wallpaper, not painted." I looked really closely and I could see a tiny line down the side. It was like a huge ceiling-to-floor poster. We tried to draw all the animals in Melody's notebook. I couldn't copy the lion very well, but Melody thought my elephant drawing was exactly like the one on the wall. Melody's brothers, Benji and Felix, came in and drew too. We drew Melody riding the giraffe and Felix swinging from a vine. Benji and Felix weren't too bad for boys. After Benji drew himself feeding bananas to the monkeys, he said, "I'm hungry. Let's go get some real bananas." And that's when we realized we were all hungry, so we went downstairs to eat. In my house, Mom always had cookies or chocolate or cheese and crackers in the cupboards. If we didn't have those, there was always fruit in a can that I could eat too. But Melody didn't have any of these things. Mom told me Melody's mother was very nutritious. So in her cupboards, there were only plain rice cakes that tasted like paper. There were nuts that were still in the shells and didn't have any salt on them. But there weren't any bananas. "Don't you have any candy?" I asked. "No," Melody said, "but we have vitamins and they're kind of sweet." So we opened the big jar of vitamins. There was a big letter C on them. They were thin and flat and tasted like oranges. They were pretty good. Not as good as candy, but still yummy. We all sat on the floor eating vitamins. Melody's mother came into the room and was surprised to see us around the vitamin jar. She seemed a little upset with us. I didn't know why. I thought she would be happy that we were being healthy. "What are you doing?" she said. "You shouldn't be eating vitamins like that." "We were hungry," Melody said. "Well, it's almost dinner time," she said. "I'll make you something better to eat. Pacey, why don't you call your mother and see if you can stay over here for dinner?" I called Mom, and we went back to Melody's room. My mom called you Pacey," Melody said. "Your mom and your sisters called you that too, but everyone at school calls you Grace. How come?" "Oh, I have two names," I told her, "an American name and a Chinese name." "Why don't they just call you one of them?" Melody asked. "Don't you get mixed up?" "Well," I said, "it was like this. How my name changed from Pacey to Grace. On my first day of school, the teacher asked me, 'What is your name?' And right away, I said, 'Pacey Lin.' But she looked at her roster and she shook her head and she said, 'No, no, no. You're a big girl now. You don't go by that name anymore. It says here your name is Grace.' I didn't understand, but I just nodded my head. I knew I shouldn't tell the teacher she was wrong, but I kept thinking that she had made a mistake. Maybe the teacher had me mixed up with another girl. I was supposed to be somewhere else. Maybe she was me and I was her. How could I find out? On the bus ride home, I asked Lissy about it. "Oh, those are our American names," Lissy told me. "They call me Beatrice. Mom and Dad gave us American and Chinese names, and I think the people at the hospital told them to when we were born." Well, I want to be called Pacey," I grumbled. "Don't be stupid," Lissy said. "Pacey's too weird for everyone. They won't know how to say it. If I use Lissy, they'd ask, 'Is that Lishi or Lissy?' And then they'd ask, 'Why do Chinese people always have to have these weird names? Let's just let them call you Grace.'" I still wasn't convinced. "People won't know which one is really me, though." Look, Lissy said. "It's like egg foo young. At home we call it foo young don, but at the restaurants they call it egg foo young. So it's easier for Americans to say. But it's still the same egg pancake. You know what you're eating when Mom gives it to you, don't you? And you know what to order at the restaurant. It's not that hard." So now, I finished, everyone at school calls me by my American name, and everyone at home calls me by my Chinese name. Well, Melody said, I guess it's kind of cool. It's like a nickname. But do you want me to call you Pacey or Grace? I thought for a moment. I call myself both names, I said, and we're almost twins, so you can call me both too. That's the end of chapter 7.